everybody, welcome back to Highland Guitar Studio. Today we're going to talk about Taylor Swift's Everything Has Changed song. There are a couple of things you might want to know about it that you probably find will be pretty helpful, and I want to share those with you. Last week a student came in for her lesson and wanted to learn this song, and like a lot of Taylor Swift songs, we need a capo. Okay, it's one of those accessories that you got to have. You're going to find it comes in handy for a lot of different things. A lot of popular songs use a capo. If you write your own music and you find that, oh, I can't quite sing with these chords, putting a capo on will take care of that. There are a couple of different kinds of capos. You might find usually the inexpensive ones are the elastic one. They use sort of a hook and eye, with a little loop thing. And while they're inexpensive and they'll do the trick for a little while, you'll find that over time that the elastic will stretch out and be less effective. What I like to use is a clamp type, and this is a Kaiser, okay? And I've had this one probably 15-20 years. The way it works is it just sort of clamps over the strings like that. When you're clamping it on there, make sure you clear the strings and, that you're not bending them. I mean, if you put it on there and you sort of bend it, you might get some bent strings and it'll affect the tuning. So what I like to do is just make sure that the jaws are pretty wide before I clamp it down, pretty close to the fret, just as if I was playing a chord, okay? So, capo's on there. Capo, by the way, means head, so what you've effectively done is created a new headstock. These frets back here have no function anymore, and all of your open chords now are a little bit higher, but they still work the same. And that's the capo. It's pretty simple, really. As for the chords, we only have 4, and this is common to a lot of Taylor Swift songs. She's one of these popular songwriters that, does a lot with a little. And the first chord that we have is an E. It's pretty standard, okay? The next one is a C sharp minor 7. And actually this song uses this variation of the C sharp minor 7. You might be familiar with this one. Well, this is going to be an alternative. It's going to be, much simpler to play, and I think a lot of novice players are going to, find that pretty encouraging, just because they don't have to play this bar chord. Okay, and then you come into an A, which you may or may not know, and then finally a B. Okay, here's the bar chord, and this is something you have to learn. Maybe this is a great opportunity to do it if you like Taylor Swift's Everything Has Changed song. This can be the song that can change your guitar playing, because once you learn these bar chords, everything has changed, at least in terms of your playing. Okay, so this E is pretty standard. You can just follow the fingering that I'm going to put up beside me here. All right, just 2, 3, and 1. Now the C sharp minor 7. Okay, this one's easy because you're still maintaining that first finger, moving that second finger to the 4th string and stretching out with the pinky. Then moving to the A, you can just pivot around, to this A chord, and look what you got. You got the second finger in the same place, that 4th finger's moving there, and then, wait for it, here comes the B. Okay, the tricky part here is this first finger. This first finger has to play down on all of these strings, and then the other 2 fingers have to do, something entirely different. This is pressing flat and encompassing this 2nd fret and pressing down all of them. Now, when I play, what I get is that I'm using the side of the finger here, not the flat part, where if your hand was facing up, but the side of it here. And if you can see those creases, the marks from the strings, you're going to see that it's right on this top side of your finger. So lean that finger out while at the same time, sort of pressing down with the pad of the 3rd finger, and the 4th finger sneaks in on the 2nd string. And that second finger, well, it's the 2nd finger, and it's just staying out of the way. It's not doing anything crass or tasteless. It's just staying out of the way. And that's the B bar chord. Okay, now for a beginner student or a novice student, when you get to this stage, What you want to do with the chords is just practice them in 3 steps. My first suggestion is to memorize the chords, okay, to switch between them. And if you look at the handout that I can put up for you, you have this chord, and then the next one in the sequence would be the C sharp minor 7, and then an A, and then a B. Okay? The next step would be to switch these chords in the same sequence that you're going to find them in the song, but do it musically, and that means that you'd have to do it with a beat. Let me grab my metronome. Hold on. So, like a lot of people, I use my metronome on my phone, or I used to use it on an iPod before I had an iPhone. You can probably find metronomes, at the Android store. If you have a smartphone, you can put apps on it. It's likely that you're going to find that there's an app for that for your phone. And so this is a metronome. Let me turn up a little volume. Typically, I'll suggest to a student to play at 40. And what you're going to do is you're going to play on beat 1, and then you're going to move immediately, and through beat 2, you're going to assemble the next chord so that you're ready to play on beat 3. So that goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now what I do there is I make sure that I'm there in time, musically. I can jump even before that second beat comes, and so I can take advantage of that much time. The exercise would be to play at 40 and then gradually move it up, testing yourself so that you can get your fingers into position. Now if you're having trouble just getting from one chord to the next, and you can't get there in time even at 40, well, you don't know the chords well enough. Your fingers have to know the path that they're traveling to. And if they don't know, then you're not ready for step 2. But when you get to step 2 and you're able to push that up and move it through the sequence, from 40, and you work your way up to 80, then go back down to 40 and do it 1 chord per beat and see, and then inch it up again. And when you can move it along at a pretty good clip, you need to move on to step 3. Now what step 3 is just playing the chords at tempo, and if you make a mistake, you figure it out and what you have left. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you want to focus on playing musically, not so much that the chord's going to sound perfect, on beats 1 and 2. You'll work it out as you get going. The thing is to maintain that musicality and just keep it flowing through. There's nothing worse than than playing a song with somebody who's relatively new, and they can't get the chord, and so they say wait. There's no waiting. You know the chords and you're ready, or you're not. But that's where you can practice. And if you're lucky enough to get an opportunity to play with somebody, well then, stick with them. You're hanging out with the big kid, and you want to just keep up. And don't worry if the chord doesn't sound. You're eventually going to get to a chord that you play well, and everything will smooth itself out as you go along. So the last thing that we need to talk about with this song, once you have the chords, you get your capo in the right spot. It's playing the strum pattern like you hear it on the recording. And this one goes. Okay? So this one is going to be 1, 2, a 3 and 4 and a 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 1. Okay? So you should know a little bit about strumming and what's commonly used for the downstroke and the upstroke. This song breaks the beat down into 4 parts, so we have 16th notes. And typically, when you play 16th notes, you would count it as 1 E and A. Okay? Now, if you take a look at that handout, you can see that I've put in the counts. And so long as you can, listen to the recording and work on, counting along with that, if you can articulate it vocally, you have some understanding of it. If you don't know what's happening or any way to sort it out, it's always going to be, sort of, hitting or missing, and the sooner you can get into counting the thing, the easier it's going to go, and then you're working on another skill that you'll use later. So for the 16th notes, once you're strumming, the 1, E, and A. Down on the 1, up on the E, down on the and up on the A. So each one of those syllables, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That's a good way to start, simply because you're playing on all of those 16th notes, and then you can pick and choose. And if you can just look at the rhythm count that I put in there, 1, 2, a 3 E and 4 and a 1, 2, a 3 E and 4. If you can say it and get into that chant, that rap, then you'll have the song. It'll be just as easy as strumming. So that's about it for that song. I hope you learned a little bit, and you'll come back and maybe see what I'm doing next week. Take care.